Don't tell anybody, but today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful Christmas holiday swag in like 30 minutes. Easy, y'all. You can do it. So I'm Melissa with TCT Crafts Designs and Decor, and I love all things with silk florals, arrangements, wreaths, swags, all the things. So if you're interested in learning how to design any of those things, you're in the right place. So I'm going to go ahead and drop you down and let's get started. Hello everyone, today we are going to be making a Christmas swag because it's Christmas in July, right? But this is going to be an easy one, and the reason it's going to be super easy is because we have a nice swag base that we're working with. So when you buy these nicer swag bases, they are more expensive. They're kind of on the pricier side, but you really don't have to add a lot of product to them. I mean, this is so pretty. I'll look at this. It's all snowy and flocked, but on the back, it's got this nice vine, which is going to give us a lot of support to stick our stems into. So it's a nice, thick swag base. You could literally, and it has a nice hanger too. You could literally, though, just put a bow on this and maybe a few little berries and be done. Okay, and we're not going to add a whole lot to this. So we're going to be very, very simple. I am going to add a little bit of pine, which is completely optional. You can leave it the complete snowy look if you want. I am going to add some of these wintry, snowy sprays that have the little berries in here. If you don't want to add this, you could, again, just tuck in some berries. Okay, so it's going to be super easy. Just a few things. And then we're going to do a bow. But you could take this in so many different directions, okay? You could add, look, I have one of these on my table. You could add in some velvet magnolias in here. You could get some florals. And tuck in, do I have any Christmas florals over here? The only one I have are these, but you could tuck in some florals. I mean, it's endless options is what I'm trying to say. But let's go ahead and do our bow first. So I am going to keep this one pretty traditional. So we're just going to use this red and white fair silk burlap. Isn't that pretty? Oh, my little thing is coming off, y'all. Hopefully it'll stay together. So I'm going to keep my tail a little long and we can cut it later if we need to. Afraid if I drop this one. Yeah, it did. Came off again. That's okay. So I'm just going to get my loops here. And I will tell you where I'm starting here in just a second. And y'all do not pay attention to my nails today. We are almost, if I flatten it out, we are almost about 8 inches. Yeah. We had 5 pallets of U-line boxes come today. So I was out working in the warehouse, and I am a hot mess, y'all. But I wanted to get this recorded today. So, and then I'm going up about 1/2 inch with each loop, and I'm just making a simple bow. You can do a nice big chunky bow with 4-inch ribbon, 2.5-inch ribbon, you know, whatever bow style you like, go for it. I think I'm gonna do one more. I like these simple little stack bows, and so that's what I'm gonna do on mine. I'm going to tie this off with a pipe cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and cut this tail off back here, and I will get it added back later. where I want it. Here's my scissors. Okay, then I'm just gonna get a floral pick and wrap. It's like, where did the rest of my pipe cleaner go there? There it is. Wrap this pipe cleaner around here. And I'm gonna have to move this ribbon out of the way before I don't step on it. You can use whatever ribbon you want. I am a Fair Silk girl. That is my go-to. Or D. Stevens. I'm a designer ribbon girl. I just like the way they hold its shape. Although there are lots of new brands out. Deluxe is another good brand if you're just kind of getting into the designer ribbon. Really, there's been a lot of places that have really stepped their game up with ribbons. So, but I'm using Fair Silk today. All right. And I'm going to get this a little off center. Give that some glue and let it dry. Okay, and now I'm going to start going in with some of these pine sprays. Y'all, every time, I forgot to take my ring off. Every time I play with these pine sprays, it gets in my ring. Now I'm going to anchor my bow. I'm going to go right down the side, and remember we have that nice, actually let me make sure it's in there. We have that nice angel vine backing, y'all. That nice angel vine backing in there. There we go. Now let me re-hit that with some glue, making sure we're going through that vine. But again, you do not have to add the extra pine sprays if you don't want to. I just want to mix some of the pine in with this snowy. That's just me. But you could keep this very, well, not very inexpensive, because these are kind of pricey, but you could keep it, you know, without adding a lot of product, you could keep the price down. If you just were to use that, maybe adding a couple berries and a bow, and you'd be good to go. All right, I just realized you guys weren't even seeing what I was doing. Still had it on my head. So I'm just gonna tuck in some of these. And I may take this little pine cone out so we can get it added back a little bit more strategically where we want it later. You don't have to put your greenery on picks if you don't want to. But I'm just sticking them kind of down into that angel vine that's in the back. I may end up moving that one. We'll see. I'm going to add some of those little berry leaf stems too. So I want those kind of around our bow. But now I'm just going to start going and taking some of these little pine pieces and tucking them into my design. I'm going to keep a long piece for the bottom here. And if you don't want to do pine, you could do, you know, some cedar or cypress. But I'm just going to tuck some pine in here. Now I started with 2 of these pine sprays, and I am going to cut up probably 2 more. Okay, so what happens on the right, I'm going to also do over here on the left. and just kind of work my way around the swag. Once you kind of get the hang and the pattern of doing the swags, they really go pretty easy, or pretty quickly, is what I'm trying to say. They can be a little intimidating at first, but once you kind of get the hang of them, I mean, you can rock and roll them. Okay, I'm going to cut up 2 more of these. And these are just, this is our Southern Pine Spray. We also have one that is almost exactly identical to it called the Northwoods Pine Spray. So either one, I will have this one linked in the description. But if you happen to watch this video much later, because you know these videos stay up for forever, and if this particular one is not listed anymore, you can look for the Northwoods Pine. It's the exact same bush, just a different company that makes them. I'm taking these little pine cones off. If we want to add them back later, we can. We still have our little chunky one over there that will get added a little bit later. But you can add more throughout the design if you want more pine cones. You could also add bells on here. I'm telling you, I'm ready for Christmas designs because I could do this. I could use the same base, change out the ribbon, and add bells, add different color berries. You could do blue, like a blue and white with blueberries. Like I said, you could use like those velvet magnolias. I mean, there's so many options. You just get the base made, get a bunch of the base made, and then just figure out what ribbon and accessories you want to add in here. When you get to the side, you don't want your greenery sticking too far out. So I'm gonna get a little shorter piece in there. We're gonna try to follow our shape with how this swag already is. I'm just tucking in some greenery bits to it. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did on that side, and I will be right back. Let's get a piece in this. We went around the sides. We don't want to forget about our center. I'll just pull a piece of that little snow off of there. One more little piece. I'm going to hang on to it. Might actually need a piece like right there. No. Let's do it. If I have to get another one of those, I will. But I think we'll be okay because we have this bush we're going to add. Now, you could leave, I'm going to probably leave these long for the most part. There may be a couple areas we cut shorter, but you can also cut these shorter if you want. You can just cut them in half. But I want some nice sort of drapey motion with these coming out. I'm going to leave it along. Okay. And I'll put that piece right there. And so I went right, I've got my center. I'm gonna put another one to my left, okay, to kind of fix our shape there. And you can add as many of these or as little of these as you want. You could space these out and just use one bush. I will probably end up using 2, if not 3. But you can just kind of have a few spaced in here sporadically, and just to give it a little different texture, and it would be beautiful. Just kind of climbing my way up the swag. Okay, I'm going to cut up another one. I'm going to put one right there in the center of that bud. It's going to create some drama when I hang it up. I like stuff kind of popping out at me. So that is going to go right there in the center. That's beautiful. Let me see if I like that at the top. It has 2 really chunky pine cones right here. I think if I part the C's, we can put this guy in there. I might need to put another little piece of pine, but when we hang it up, if it looks a little funny, we can pull it out and reposition it. And we might need to add one more loop, one more bow loop too. I'm gonna wait till I get it up, but we might need one more loop. Let's see. I'm almost thinking we might, but let's go ahead. Let's add one more loop. Now I am not going to measure. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. But you can just measure your last loop, the size of it. I just put this, I just bunch it and put it on a pick. You can use a wooden pick if you don't have a pick machine. And I'm trying to get it in that line. There we go. Let me go ahead and glue that before I kind of start messing with it. I'll let that glue dry a minute. I think I'm going to put another one right there. And then I'm going to open up. You don't have to do this. You could space yours out differently. I'm going to open up another one. I'm probably not going to use all of it. But I do want a stem. I want a stem right there. Right to kind of break these loops up right there. But y'all, look how easy this is. Couple products. Look how nice and full. Now let's get our other tail added back. I like to leave the really long tails. You can, you know, cut them however you want them. If you want them shorter, like I said, if you want a different kind of bow, this is just the style that I like to do. So I'm just going to take and put my little ribbon on a pick. My ribbon thing came off again, y'all. Hot mess today, I'm telling you. Okay, I'm going to leave them really long. Well, I say that. This is probably too long, so let me cut them just a little bit. But when I get it hung up, I can give them their final haircut. Okay, so we're going to add our little chunky pine cones back. Like I said, you could add a bell in here, have some bells coming or tucked in. You could add different berries. I'm going to save the rest of this when I get it hung up. If it needs some love anywhere, I'll have those. But let's add like our chunky pine cones kind of on the center, because I kind of went off center with my bow. It's just how I like to do on my swag. So that way I can tuck in like a bell, a pine cone, a floral, something like right in here. So I'm thinking we will tuck our little pine cone like right there. So let's get a pick on this. So I'm just going to take a pipe cleaner. Use pipe cleaner, wire, whatever you want to use. I'm just going to run it through this pine cone. Twist it off. And we're going to get a little pick on it. Right there. We got another little chunky pine cone. We'll put him in there as well. Yeah, I think that'll look good. You could tie these around a wooden pick too if you want to use the wooden pick instead of the steel picks. Whatever your preference is. So look, we have put this swag together in probably what, y'all? Probably 30 minutes. I don't know what time it started, and look at the clock, but probably 30 minutes. And it really, I owe it all to that wonderful swag base that we had. When you have a nice foundation, you don't have to add a lot of product to. You can knock these things out. So yes, you're going to pay a little bit more for the base, but you don't have to buy a lot of extra greenery or picks or sprays. Like I said, we could have just left that with the white You wouldn't even have to add as many pine if you didn't want to. But anyway, y'all know what I mean. You can scale up or scale down on this design. Now, I will need to fix my shape of my pines. Make sure I don't got any wonky ones when I get it hung up. But there is our pretty little swag. Easy peasy. And if there's any picks that are coming through the back, I will just clean them up. But isn't that beautiful? And super easy. So again, I'll hang it up. I'll make sure my pine sprays are going in the right direction. We don't have any that's having a party of their own. I'll trim my tails up. But super quick little Christmas in July swag design. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new to my channel, welcome. We would love to have you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified every time we have a new tutorial. So until next time, bye y'all.